Today I have 10 of the best affordable cologne fragrances that you could pick up this fall. Warm, cozy, sweet, you name it, it's on this list. And the best part is you can find all of these fragrances for a very affordable price. So if you're looking for some new fall bangers that won't break the bank, well, look no further. I got y'all. So let's jump into it. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're doing well. My name is Ty, and here I primarily talk about fragrances, but we also sprinkle in some fashion and lifestyle content as well. So all about helping you show up as your best self by looking good, smelling good, and feeling good. Y'all know the vibes, man. So if you're interested in those type of videos, subscribe below for weekly fashion and fragrance content. Then make sure you hit the bell so you can stay notified anytime I post any new videos. Okay, let's jump into the list. We're going to get things kicked off with one from Alexandria Fragrances, and it's 1981X. This is their clone of Naxos by Xerjoff, and this is a very solid one here, y'all. So to my nose, this one is definitely a little more dense and even sweet than the original, but nonetheless still a very good inspiration, y'all. And if you're not familiar with the original or this one, essentially what you get is this nice honey tobacco sort of ambery blend. Very, very good for the fall, y'all. Just a great scent profile for this time of year. And I often reach for this one, you know, fall evenings when I'm going out. But when I'm going out and I want to smell a little more sophisticated and put together, because the sweetness here is not like what you'll find in most, mainstream designers. Kind of that overdose of, vanilla or just almost sugary sweetness, right? This one much more refined, much more put together, much more of a mature sweetness, right? I know the word mature may scare some people, but to me, I think this is a very well put together fragrance, and one that, I tend to reach for again. Evenings out when I want to smell more sophisticated, more put together, and I don't want something that's maybe too youthful or sweet. I want something that's a bit more refined. Very good one here, y'all. Starting off with a banger, we have 1981X by Alexandria Fragrances. Okay, next up from Armaf, we have Club de Nuit Untold. This is for all my BR 540 fans out there. Of course, this one's a clone of Baccarat Rouge 540, and it's a solid one, y'all. It's not my favorite, nor do I think it's the best. I really like Sunset in Heaven by Parfums Vintage. I think they did a phenomenal job with that one. I think it smells a bit higher quality as well, but it does come with a higher price tag. So I think at this price point, you usually find this one for around 30 or 40 bucks. Very hard to beat because it does get that BR 540, scent profile nailed down pretty well, right? That kind of floral, airy, ambery, sweet vibe that you get with the, original, you also get in here. And this one also performs very well too, y'all. So if you're big on performance, or you want things that project that are going to be beast mode, this is one of those. Definitely with just a few sprays, you're going to be good all day. Probably going to be heavily complimented as well, just because that's a more well-liked scent profile. So a great fall fragrance, y'all, for a great price. Highly recommend you check out Club de Nuit Untold. Okay, this next one took the fragrance world by storm when it dropped, y'all, and for good reason, because this one is definitely a banger. So comes from French Avenue, and it's Liquid Brun. This is their clone of Parfums de Marly Altier. One of the best out there, for sure. I've smelled a few others, but this one definitely, holds its own. And I always say with this scent profile, y'all, this and the original, of course, one of my favorite fall DNAs ever. I feel like it has everything I like or love in a fall fragrance. You get that bourbon vanilla, so you get some sweetness. You get cinnamon, so you get a light spice in the background. But then you also have some orange blossom that still gives it this slight sort of powdery freshness and cleanliness to it too. Woodiness as it drives down, y'all. It literally does everything right. I really enjoy this scent profile. I plan on picking up the original, here soon, just because I'm a big fan of Parfums de Marly. Really enjoy their fragrances. But if you're someone that is also a fan of Altier, but you don't want to spend the money, I highly suggest y'all check this one out, Liquid Brun. Alright, y'all, this next one is a new addition to my collection, but I can already tell it's going to be one that I really enjoy, and it's great for the fall. Comes from Paris Corner, and it's Rifaaqat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but we're going to go with it. But this one is a clone of YSL's Baby Cat, and that's one of the few that I haven't had a chance to smell yet, y'all. Really want to get my nose on it here soon. So since I haven't smelled the original, not necessarily comparing, I'm just going to talk about this as is. But y'all, as good as this one smells, I feel like I need to get my nose on the original, like, because I don't know how much better or different it could be. But essentially what I get in here, y'all, is of course a hefty dose of vanilla, and then also sort of like a suede or leather, something textured, right, in there that's in the background, and then some spice as well. I know saffron is in here, just black pepper too, so it's almost like a spicy suede vanilla fragrance. A vanilla fragrance that I'd say is definitely a little bit more masculine leaning, which I'm all for, because I feel like a lot of vanilla fragrances are, more unisex or even maybe feminine leaning, but this one is definitely one that I feel is a little more masculine. And I know a lot of people talk about, the original and I guess this clone here as well. I don't know that I feel it's as mass appealing as people may, lead on to, because of, like I said, that kind of suede or leather in the opening. I know that's not something that everyone is a fan of. So I don't think everyone will love it, but I think a lot of people will enjoy it, especially if you like vanilla fragrances and you want something that's a little more masculine and just a little bit different, maybe than, some other vanilla fragrances. Would highly recommend you check this one out. Rifaaqat by Paris Corner. All right, this next one is one that you can really rock any time of year, but I think it's good in the fall, especially on those warmer fall days. Comes from Afnan, and it's Supremacy Collector's Edition. Y'all, this one here, of course, is a clone, or I'd say more so a twist of Creed's Absolute Aventus. And this is just such a pleasant smelling fragrance, y'all. Definitely one that's more mass appealing, one that I feel like a lot of people are going to enjoy. You get some fruitiness, you get some warmth, you get some sweetness as it dries down. And the best thing about this one, and the reason why I think it's good for the fall, y'all, it performs amazing. Very, very strong fragrance, y'all. One that is definitely going to project, have people smelling you, and probably have people asking you what you have on, because again, just very pleasant, easygoing, easy to wear fragrance for sure. So again, those fall days that are a little warmer, feel more like summer, right? Want something a little, lighter, fresher, but can still, cut through the cold air if it gets a little cooler throughout the day. This is one I'm reaching for here, y'all. Supremacy Collector's Edition. Okay, we have another newer edition in my collection, y'all. Comes from Joe Milano, and it's Game of Spades No Limit. This is their take on MFK's Amorous Homme, the X-Straight. And this one smells so good, y'all. I'm a very big fan of the original, so I think that's why I love this one so much. It just did such a great job with it. There's a ton of notes in here, y'all, but essentially what this one smells like to me is, you get this orange and kind of rosemary, so this kind of citrusy aromatic opening. Dries down, you get some woodiness, but then you also have a ton of, kind of random notes in here as well. You get chocolate, coconut, ouds in here, right? I don't feel like you get all of those things. To me, it's just kind of fresh, but then also has some warmth and sweetness. And the best way that I can describe it, or something that I can compare it to that's a little more mainstream, the Chanel Allure Homme, the original, right? Kind of gives me that vibe, but a little deeper, a little darker, and I'd say, yeah, just kind of that, but a little deeper and darker. That's probably the best way that I can describe this fragrance. Another one that can really, realistically kind of be worn year round, but I think it shines in the fall because, again, it gives you freshness in the opening. But as it dries down, you get some warmth, some depth, additional sweetness, and just think it's a solid pick, y'all. So if you're interested in MFK's Amorous Homme, the X-Straight, or you just want something that's very wearable, but has, some dimension and depth to it as well, check this one out. Game of Spades, No Limit. All right, this next one is from my 30 and up crowd. Comes from Fragrance World, and it Suits. This is their clone of YSL's Tuxedo. This one has patchouli, amber, and vanilla. You have to be a fan of patchouli to enjoy this one. And actually, maybe I take that back, because I'm not the biggest fan of patchouli. So I don't love this fragrance, but I do still appreciate and can enjoy it, right? And I think what makes it even better is the price point. So again, you can find this one for around 20 or 30 bucks. I think at that price point, even if you don't love patchouli, it's a good one to maybe start getting your foot in the door, or just to give your, fragrance collection some variation, right? Have some different things in there. So patchouli, amber, vanilla, very solid fragrance. One that's good for nights out, evenings out, especially when you're a little more dressed up. I think this one does an amazing job, and it has surprisingly good performance as well. So not much to not like here, like I said, especially given the price. Would definitely recommend checking this one out. Fragrance World Suits. Okay, just a few fragrances remaining, y'all, and this next one comes from Afnan, and it is Supremacy and Oud. This is their take on Initio's Oud for Greatness. Very similar to the original, but maybe a touch sweeter. They add fruity notes to this one, so it does give it just a touch more, maybe fruity sweetness. Not much different, but all in all, y'all, for the price, just such a good fragrance, especially for cooler and colder weather in the evening specifically. You get that woodiness, the darkness, the spiciness that you get with the original and this scent profile as well. And y'all, honestly, for 40 bucks, I don't think there's a better, clone of this fragrance out there when it comes to quality, overall smell, and longevity as well. This is one of my favorites for sure. So check it out if you're interested in Initio's Oud for Greatness, or you just want something kind of woody, spicy, with the oud kind of, kick to it in the end. Would definitely recommend checking this one out. Supremacy and Nuit. Alright, y'all, this next one is one of my all-time favorites. You probably already know what it is. I think you can wear this one year round, but it works surprisingly well in the fall. Comes from Lattafa. It's Honor and Glory. Y'all, this one is just so good. Again, at that sub $30 or $30 price point, definitely my favorite, and I think one of the best fragrances that you can pick up. A ton of different notes in here, but essentially what you get is this nice creamy pineapple with vanilla and a little woodiness in the dry down, but you also get some spices. I think you get turmeric, you get cinnamon, and some other things in here as well. So I think you have just enough of that to make it work during the fall. And again, this is another one that performs very well. So the performance mixed with, like I said, that slight vanilla spice vibe, I think you can definitely wear this one in the fall, especially on warmer days. And I just love this one, y'all. Such a good fragrance. Do yourself the favor if you haven't smelled this one yet. And it's not a direct clone of anything, or at least that I'm aware of. Maybe a combination of some other things. But if you haven't smelled this one yet, y'all, do yourself a favor. Check it out. Honor and Glory. Alright, last but not least, y'all, from Haramain, we have Amber Oud Dubai Night. And y'all, of all the fragrances I listed, well, hold on. Rifaaqat is definitely good. Good date night option. Supremacy and Nuit is definitely a very good date night option as well, as are some of the others, but I'd say this would be the top pick for date night in terms of the 10 fragrances I've listed, because this one is definitely more on that sensual vibe for sure. So it's a clone of Montal's Arabian's Tonka, and y'all, this is one of the few scenarios where I prefer the alternative over the original, regardless of price. The original is good, but it's a little too much, I'll be honest, in terms of performance and just how it comes off. It's a little punchy for me. I feel like this one took that original DNA, added a little twist, gave it some freshness. I don't know, it just comes off a little smoother and kind of easier going to me. But all in all, this scent profile is all about kind of the rose and oud, but a much, kind of sweeter and I'd say more wearable version of that kind of historic combo. So you get amber, you get, tonka. I think you might get vanilla in the dry down as well. So again, rose and oud, but has that sweetness, and you also get some spice from saffron. So really nice, again, very warm and sensual fragrance, and one that I think is just a standout for date night, y'all. Definitely recommend checking this one out if you like Arabian's Tonka, or you're looking for maybe a rose oud combo that's sweeter and maybe more wearable than some of the other ones out there. For the price, y'all, very smooth, very good quality. Highly recommend Amber Oud Dubai Night. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video valuable, and leave me a comment below. Let me know what are some of your favorite clone fragrances for the fall.